So people out there in the world, I realise now more and more that it's more difficult to get on with XXY people. They are just huddling together in groups on the internet, and or groups in real life, huddling together and fighting off people like me who would try and make them believe that we're not, just males. Because I've been arguing the last few days with one XXY guy who's adamant that there are no female XXYs, and of course there are female XXYs. So it's XXYs that are really problematic with peace in the world, because they will argue, aggressively, and maintain their old beliefs, and they won't let go of the reins. They're holding on like, no, we are males, it's just males and females in the world, Gavin, they say. And I'm like, right. What about the people in the world that don't look like a male or a female? And people ask, hey, what are they? What are those people? What are they? I mean, are they male or are they female? Or are they in between? And if anybody continues to try and persuade me to let go of my mission of telling people in the world that, it's not just male and females, well then, you're not going to get anywhere with me, because I will be strong and like that on this point. We can't continue to go through the world thinking there's just males and females. Just males and females. It's ridiculous, because hermaphrodites ruin that whole little picture. For a start, hermaphrodites do, because they don't have just penis and vagina, they both, and they are existing, and they've always existed. To think, to believe that XXYs are just male is ridiculous. It's absurd, it's ignorant, and it's gullible. And the reality is that a lot of doctors don't really know what they're talking about. They only give suggestions, ideas, opinions. But because they're doctors, because when they give their opinion, that people think that they're facts. Now, there's a lot of facts like this, and we got that good. There's a lot of facts from doctors that turn out to be complete bullshit, and they give you tablets and they treat you for something that you don't actually have. There's stories here in Eastern Europe of dentists that they used to give every single child a filling just so that they could make money, but the child didn't need a filling. A lot of my friends have fillings and they didn't actually need them, but the dentist got away with that because the dentist wanted money. It's very similar with doctors, with pharmaceutical companies. So just be clear with who you're going to. You're actually going to a drug dealer in most cases when you go to a doctor. Most doctors, for anybody, regardless of your gender, for most people, their doctors don't have more than 10 minutes for them. You can spend 3 hours in the waiting room and then 10 minutes with your doctor. And especially if you tell your doctor that you're feeling a bit bad in the head and a bit depressed, then they're going to give you tablets that will numb your senses. Or you need to take more than just tablets, people. You need therapy for the mind. You need to be relaxed to know the methods in which doctors and other specialists, therapists, can help you with. And people just are not doing that. I think over the last 30 years or more, whatever years, we've produced a bunch of mostly idiot human beings that don't think for themselves. They want the system to think for them. They want an easy life. I understand that, but putting the control and the power into the system and not into yourself, just so that you can have the easy life of sitting back and getting everything done for you is just not a good life, people. Sorry. It's like when you're sitting in your local park and there's lots of rubbish, garbage, whatever you want to call it. You know, Coke cans, Malteser, Twix, Marathon, Snickers packets all over the ground, and you're sitting around it and you're not picking it up yourself, and it would take you 3 minutes to pick it up yourself if you even had those plastic gloves on you. You know, you could pick them up, pick it all up and put it in the bin, the nearest bin. It would take you maximum 5 minutes, let's say. But instead we sit there in the park around lots of rubbish or garbage, whatever you call it, and you expect somebody else to come up and pick it up. And that is my big point there, that, you know, we can't expect other people to work out our own problems. Though it is nice to have support, and it is nice to have specialists and therapists and experts in these fields to help us out. But unfortunately, my opinion is that there are not too many experts out there. And so I would say to anybody out there to not, obviously, this has to be said now, not obviously listen to me completely and think that I'm speaking the truth, but do understand that I'm speaking honestly about my opinions, and I am also open to discussion on all of my opinions. I'm not open for ignorance though from other people, because the fact is I do know each side, each corner of the cube. You know, I've looked at each corner of the cube, and it is a cube at the moment. I hope that'll be a sphere, so that we're just, you know, can you imagine a sphere just going round it and round it like this, you know? But at the moment it's a cube, and we're walking to the edge of the other cube, from one edge to another, and then we've got to flip our minds and climb up there and walk along again. It's ridiculous. We should be on a sphere, walking constantly anywhere we want. We should be able to be whoever we want, do pretty much whatever we want, as long as there's no violence involved or abuse or stealing, those sorts of things. We should be able to do what we want, be where we want, and be who we want. Yeah. So I'm hoping with all my talking and communication with people that that's going to be a huge reality for the majority of the world's populations. That's another mission of mine. Thank you for listening to my waffle. Goodbye.